Hey everyone, good evening and welcome to the Engineering Signal. I'm your host today with Gergely Krista. It's really good to see everybody. I'm James McLeod. And I don't know how many engineering signals we've actually done now, Gergely. I mean, I don't know if you've got, a tally or a count or a point of view. It's been quite a few now. We've been basically here throughout 2026, I think.
Yeah, is it? Oh, wow. Is it? Throughout 2026?
I think so. I mean, we've been here. I remember. I mean, it's light outside here in the UK now.
Yeah.
And when we first started, it was as dark as your background.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's
I
looking good
I
out.
thought we were on the 6th or 7th. Genuinely.
I think it is probably the 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
And they're all extremely good. I'm really enjoying it. So
Yeah, it's good fun.
tell me, what's top of mind for today? What do you have in store for our viewers?
Well, I'm going to do a little plug because since we last did a podcast, I started working. I wouldn't say working, volunteering for a game development company. And
Right.
I'm the unofficial, uncontracted community manager at the moment. So I saw a gap that they didn't have a website, so I built a website for them. So I'm going to show
Right.
you that.
Okay.
That was all AI, AI product development lifecycle
Mm-hmm.
or deployment lifecycle, the whole thing. I materialized that application that we were talking about in previous streams around having a centralized location for these HTML5 applications we're building.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm very
yeah.
excited to show you that. And I want to talk about the new LLMs that are coming out and or the controversy around it. So those are the things I want to focus on.
Wow, they sound like some. It sounds like quite of. It sounds like quite a bit of innovation that's been coming from your side in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm very much looking forward to that. Okay, so
Oh,
from my side, what I thought that I would cover. So I've been doing a lot of work with Obsidian and Claude Co-work, and also Notion about how you can actually use co-work as your I'm not going to say engineering partner, just, your operational partner. Let's just say that. And how you can, take ideas, put them onto a backlog, store them in persistent memory, have a bit of a to and fro, a bit of an ideation session. And then, maybe get into, development through that. And then I thought, and no doubt this is on your agenda as well. There's been Claude Design that's recently been published, and I thought, given that we've been, maybe 6 or 7 episodes in now, we could have a go at changing the design of the engineering signal, because it's now a partnership. It's both of us, and so I thought that we could take a look at the design, maybe see how much effort it is to work with Claude Design. And see if we can come up with a new logo and maybe, take a look at, the design of the bottom third as well,
yeah.
which is, the placement of people's names. We may get to a final one tonight, but let's see, and I'll have a go at, constructing prompts and, giving a few assets that, Claude Design can actually work with. And then, of course, right at the very end, we've got our vibe coding challenge, which comes to both of us, which then feeds into your HTML5 application, your kind of aggregating site.
Yes. So I do a tiny bit of walk through that because I have something that I want to show to the viewers as well. So
Okay.
when we get to that, I'm very happy to show off and we can have a discussion around it.
Definitely. Well, you let me know, where do you want to start? So we've got quite a lot of choice on the menu for tonight.
I really want to hear your experience with Obsidian. I've been wanting to look into that, and it sounds really exciting. So maybe we could start with you. Would you be okay talking about Obsidian and how you've been using it?
I think so. I think so. So in that case, what I'll do, I'll give it the full workflow of what I've been doing with Claude Cowork, Obsidian, and also Notion. And so it's kind of like how those three tie together. All of this is being done live. You know, we're live streaming now. And so this could either go very right or it could go very wrong. But that's what we do. We kind of we throw ourselves into the unknown. So okay, let me see if I can get my very first environment up and running. So the one thing that I need to do, Gergely, is share my screen with you. Otherwise you're not going to be able to see anything that I'm doing.
Also, what another thing you need to do is Praveen Science has said, James, amazing to meet you here.
So, oh really? I'm not actually seeing any of the chat.
No, I'm gonna read that out. I'm gonna read that out.
That's brilliant. That's
so somebody's probably maybe from previous connections this year. And yeah. So yeah, they seem very excited about Obsidian, and they also saying they were planning to learn something about Claude Design. So yeah, Praveen, that's the whole point of the podcast. We're here to learn together, co-learning.
Yeah, we certainly are. Wow, that's a little bit of pressure, isn't it?
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, McLeod. Okay, so in that case, let's get started then. So everybody should be able to see that I've got Claude Cowork up and running using Opus 4.6. You may have noticed that 4.7 has actually been released this week. And so maybe what we'll do is switch it up a gear to Opus 4.7, which without kind of, stumbling into maybe a future discussion with you, Gergely, I hear that actually Opus 4.7 is a lot more, what is it? It can work a lot more independently compared to 4.6. And so it'd be really interesting to see how 4.7 actually operates, to see whether it makes its own decisions and moves forward in its own way. So on my local Mac, I've got Cowork, as you can see. And also I have, let's see if I can bring it up here. I've actually got Obsidian as well. Now, I don't know whether the people on the stream have actually engaged with Obsidian before. It took me a little bit of time to understand, how you actually engage with it. I thought that, maybe Obsidian was a cloud-hosted environment when I first, saw a few TikToks about how people were persisting their memory for Claude. But then I got to learn that actually Obsidian is a free application, and so you don't have to pay for it. But it's actually not it's not cloud hosted unless you actually subscribe for that model. And so everything that you actually have within Obsidian, so it gives you many different vaults, and so you have a daily vault, a memory vault, and then it's got lots of different registries within it, or repositories within it, that help it to categorize the type of information that you are storing within it, and everything that is within here. So if I zoom out, so this is my graph of everything that I've stored in there so far. And so if I find something, so hello world quality results, I've got no idea what is stored in here, but if I click on it, every single node within Obsidian is actually marked down, and everything that's been stored within here has been stored by Claude. Now the interesting thing is that I've actually got a few environments that are integrated into Obsidian on my local Mac. So I've got Claude Cowork, and I've also got Claude Code as well. Now, you may be thinking, what is the point in this? Because, when we're engaging in our own projects, you may have an agent's MD, you may have a Claude MD, but all of those are persisted within that project. And so everything kind of lives and dies kind of within the context of what you've been developing on right here, right now. So say, for instance, if I had one project that I'm maintaining, I can write to the memory of that project and it will update the agents.md, or it will update the README, or, any of the internal markdown, and you can bring that into context. But if I did that within a co-work project and then I went into if I did that within a Claude Code project and then I went into co-work, unless I bring that project into the context of co-work, they're not actually sharing memory between each other. And so by having Obsidian pointed to by co-work and also Claude Code on the same machine, it's almost like you're talking to the same agentic system. They're kind of sharing memory between each other, and also between projects as well. And so you can kind of pick up your learnings from one project and give it to another one, which is absolutely amazing. And you get used to it over time. It's not necessarily fully automatic. You do have to, ask Claude to do these things. But then Claude, say for instance, you have to ask Claude to, write to Obsidian, at the end of, a long conversation. But Claude is actually pretty intuitive and it will update itself to do that. And so it kind of picks up those behaviors. The other thing to note is that there are some skills that need to be integrated into your global .claude file. So you've got a .claude folder, with lots of global instructions or agents within it. If you ask Claude to research for itself the most appropriate skills for Obsidian, it will go out and it will find those, and it will it'll download and auto write those skills to itself within the global file. And so Obsidian isn't necessarily something that you just install and it works. You have to go out and find those skills on GitHub, or ask, Opus 4.6 or 4.7, to research the most appropriate Obsidian integration patterns for itself. And then it'll go out there and it will find it and it will bring it down and it will install it. And I would say that that's a better thing to do. That's kind of, I did actually try to do it in a more manual way. So as I was transitioning from, hands-on developer, integrating by going to GitHub for myself, into new agentic thinker, I thought, why am I doing this for myself? Why don't I just ask, Claude to do it for me? And so it did it and it integrated it, and I don't even have to think about it. It just did that. Now, with that Obsidian integration, I've also integrated into Claude, the agentic system of Claude across everything except design. Notion. Gergely, have you heard of Notion? Do you know what Notion is?
Yes, I've been using Notion for a while. As I understand, it's sort of a project management tool where you can have idea boards, Kanban boards, you can do sprint planning, so on and so on. It's similar to that.
Yeah, sorry, and I didn't mean to kind of, put you on the spot. That wasn't my intention.
That's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah, so Notion it's a bit of a crazy kind of environment. I mean, I don't know. I remember when I was first introduced to Notion, it's so versatile and it's so wide open that you will get lost in it if you compare it to fixed environments like Atlassian. Right. So if you come into Notion thinking, oh, it's a replacement for Jira or Confluence or, a fixed type of tool, you'll find it really difficult to get your head around Notion, because it's so versatile and it's so wide open to everything, that by coming in it with a fixed kind of like idea of what Notion is, you'll find it just too mind blowing. But Notion is kind of an environment, a little bit like I'm not going to compare it to anything. It's like when we say agentic ecosystem, that can mean anything. It's kind of like just wide open and broad. Notion is a little bit like that as well. So within Notion, you can basically get anything set up. And so I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, and I'll probably get lost if I do. Maybe I'll do a Notion run through another time. But there is a Notion marketplace. I might not be set up to really find it. Here it is. Right. So within Notion, there are lots of different kind of environments that you can set up within it to that people have put out there, a little bit like VS Code Marketplace. They're kind of applications that people have developed in order to be able to help you in a particular use case or situation. So if we go through here, for instance, you can see that people have, well, it looks like they've got an agentic marketplace. If I maybe find a template, so all of these various different templates are Notion designs or kind of Notion environments that kind of, give you, so this one looks as if, it's a point of view exam season. So it's a template to help you study smarter and stay organized throughout your finals. And so you might find that there's flashcards in there. There might be a timer in there. There's something in there that's really relevant for students. In the same way as land the internship, like finding and landing the right internship can set the direction for an exciting career. There'll be little tools and, mechanisms in there that people have put together to help you organize your day and time. And down here, you've got finance, budget planners, lots of different types of calendars. It's so versatile that,
it is.
It can take you in lots of different directions. So, but the great thing about Notion is that it's because it's like, I don't know what version of web we're on now. It's probably web, .x or something like that, or .ai rather than web, 2, web 3, web, 4. It's been set up by people who think, in a very almost like federated way. It's a very non-linear way of putting things together, which means that it's got, MCP integrated into it. And a lot of the providers of agentic solutions have got they've got an MCP set up that integrates into, Claude or, Factory or whatever your provider of AI is. And so what I have done, both within CoWork and also Code, is set up the Claude MCP for Notion. And I've built my own agile board that mirrors, how you would work within, a feature team, kind of using agile, whether it's Scrum or Kanban or, whatever flavor of agile it is. And I worked with CoWork, which I'm going to call Butcher, okay, because Butcher is my agentic kind of, agent. I said to Butcher, hey, Butcher, can you set up an agentic environment, using Notion that allows me to be a product owner, and Butcher, you are the business analyst stroke Scrum Master. So when we have conversations about, what it is that I want to have developed, you pick up on, what the epics are, what the stories are, and what the tasks are, in order to build a prioritized backlog of work that we actually pass to our agent teams. So rather than me, and this is my ultimate goal, rather than me being the to and fro person telling Cowork what to do, or telling Claude Code what to do, I want to be like the product owner saying, this is the product that I want to have developed. This is the roadmap. These are the epics. These are the stories. These are the tasks. Let's prioritize those and then ship them to an agentic team, and then they build it. So it's kind of like building that enterprise, view of what a product should be. And so within Notion, you can see that I've got all of my goals, which I've set here, so they're quite high level, but you can see that they're active, they've been achieved, or they're paused, so they're pretty easy Kanban board to pass through at the top level. Then we drill into the stories, and you'll see that I've got an inbox of kind of like fresh new ideas that kind of go into a little bit more detail, and they are pinned to a goal. So I believe agentic config might be a goal up here somewhere. I can't quite remember. But then the stories go from left to right, as you would as you would imagine, and then the tasks are pinned to stories, and so they then get checked off, according to the stories that you need to achieve. Now, when I have this to and fro, with Butcher, which is my co-work and Claude Code agent, he then takes all of this information, puts it into Notion, but then also registers or remembers that conversation in Obsidian as well. So I've got the memories of the conversation in Obsidian, and the work that needs to be fulfilled as epic stories and tasks in Notion. Okay, so what I'm going to do, is I'm going to see if I can set something up here, so we can see it playing through. And let me know if that was too complex, or whether you've got any questions on in the chat, because I kind of come from a very enterprise kind of like environment, and so if what I've been saying doesn't make sense, please just call it out, or if I'm doing something wrong, let me know.
Right, and even on not a enterprise scale, this has immense value. So if you can adopt this even as a one-man team to deliver anything, this what James is showing is the future. This is innovation firsthand. It's really good. Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
This is really, really good. This is a very important episode, because I think everybody should pay really a lot of attention. What we're seeing here is a completely autonomous, whatever second language, sorry, I can't pronounce it, workflow where the software engineer working in this is focusing on the product and not the code, and the product vision sits with the human, the delivery sits with the LLM and the AI. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. So the product owner has kind of like the vision of whatever the stream is within the enterprise, for whatever it is that we need to achieve, so our ultimate goal and outcomes.
Yep.
And it's down to us to be able to clearly articulate what that is, so co-worker or whatever it is that you're working with can pick it out and kind of segment it like what you would need to do with a business analyst or with an architect or whoever it needs to be, to kind of break that down into epics, stories and tasks, to then be able to feed into your agentic factory. And an agentic factory is an environment where you have multiple different agents that represent the team playing off of each other to develop something. And that is my next kind of like goal after this. So I'm not quite at that stage yet, but I'm not that far off. So what I want to do, right, is I'm pretty sure around here, and I'm taking a look through my terminal. I think that I've got a few projects knocking around here. The let's see, what was it? Um, yeah, so what I've got locally are a few projects. So I've got the my AI innovation projects, I've got my London JS projects, and I've got my the engineering signal projects. So they're the kind of external outside of work stuff that I do. Now within my AI innovation projects here, you may see that I've got a few projects here. So I've got my agentic config project, which is on GitHub. I've got another Claude Code dev container template. I've got a few OpenClaw projects that I've been playing around with my Raspberry Pi. And then I've also got a Claude Agents project, which is something that is kind of related to this. And so there's some stories within Notion that relate to this, because this is kind of like what I'm, demonstrating. So if I go into Cowork, I know that there's a few of these projects here that aren't represented in Notion. And in fact, I would say that there are some within Claw projects that I've kind of picked them up. I've forgotten that I've got like branches checked out. I've forgotten that, I haven't made a commit, because you forget. And I've thought, oh, okay, how do I actually remind myself that I've got to finish this stuff off? And so I thought earlier it could be quite useful to get them into Notion. And so I'm not going backwards and forwards to terminal. I'm going to go back to Butcher, my co-work agent. So I'll just ask Butcher. I want to do some work in the AI innovation folder that you will find within projects. Right, and if you don't know Cowork, you need to select the folders that you want maybe it's actually down here. I'll keep it at the kind of root of projects. So you select the folders that you want Cowork to work within, so it doesn't have access broadly across everything. You have to kind of give it a fixed kind of field of view. So using Opus 4.7, I've said I want to do some work in the AI innovation folder that you'll find within projects. Now the persona of Butcher is an East End Cockney, so you'll probably notice a bit of unusual language. Sometimes he does come up with a few swear words, which I've actually told him not to use, but occasionally they slip through. Right.
Claude does get unhinged a little bit sometimes. I discovered that. I'm going to show you something later that is inappropriate, but it's kind of funny and you wouldn't expect any other AI to do.
Really? Oh, okay. Okay.
It's not inappropriate. I'm going to highlight that one more time.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, it's telling me they can't see that AI innovation lives inside one of them. Ooh, okay. So let me go back and let's start fresh. So I wonder why I can find that, because I'm pretty sure that there is. Hey Butcher or folders and you see in projects.
I can see that the number of people in the stream is growing steadily, fluctuating as well, but it's a comfortable single digit number still. But since we're halfway through, I wanted to check if any other people in the chat any questions that they want to ask, since there was a lot of information conveyed.
Yeah,
exciting.
that's amazing. Thank you everybody for being here. It's really
Yeah.
good to see people people joining the stream. And so I'm playing in co-work at the moment. I've got a Notion environment. I've got Obsidian. My Notion is my kind of like project Kanban. It's got, you know, lots of different stories, tasks and goals. What I want to do is get all of the projects that I've got in my AI innovation folder into Notion. So can you look, right, so I'm not going to say that. I have a number of projects inside AI innovation that I need representing in my Notion. In my Notion Agile. Can you take a look and tell me what is missing? This also includes the OpenClaw projects. Right, so if I go back to my terminal, so we are inside the, if I clear that for the people who have just joined, we're inside my AI innovation folder, and that's a reason why Butcher couldn't see AI innovation, because I put an S on the end and it wasn't quite smart enough to notice. If I look inside here, I've got a few individual projects, but this Claw projects, so if I go in there, Claw projects, has got NanoClaw, NanoClaw Pi, OpenClaw Pi, OpenClaw Pi OS, you know, and I know within those projects, I've got some open tasks that I need to complete. Got the tools. Now let me check what's inside Claw projects. So it's taking a look, which Notion area should I check against? I will say whole Agile workspace. What counts as a project for Notion? Okay, right. So can you look, can you see the Notion MPC integration, the projects and the Notion good. Look inside Obsidian as they should be documented in there. Right. Right, so let me load the Notion and Obsidian tools and have a poke around. There we go. So, right, let me get tasks grown and crack on. First, I'll read the Obsidian guide to find where the Notion environments are documented. There we go. Right, found the Notion board. Let me update the tasks and pull the live Notion data, plus read the project folder inventory note, since it sounds spot on. Got the databases. Now let me pull the goals database to see what projects were already represented. And so at that point in time, I could tell that Claude was trying to, you know, learn afresh. And I thought, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right, because I know that there's a Notion MCP, and I know that all of that is documented within Obsidian. And so I gave Claude a bit of a nudge to look for those things. And you can see here, you know, within the conversation, that Claude actually does find, or Butcher in my case, does actually find the Notion environment is actually documented in Obsidian. And so this was what I was saying earlier, that you shouldn't expect it to be, having human type memory. Sometimes you need to prompt it to go out and find these things. So if you know that you've been doing this in Obsidian, you just say, go and find it in Obsidian because it's all in there for you to find. And sure, look, right, I've got everything that I need, the gap analysis, butcher style, local projects inside AI innovation. So these are all of the projects that are within that folder. These are the projects already in Notion: Agentic Config, Claude Agents, London.js, Engineering Signal, Content, Open Source, Finos AI Governing Board, Gmail Cleanup because it's an absolute mess. I was like, if you're going to do anything, please clean my Gmail. And then, yeah, seriously, missing from Notion, Claude Code Developer Template, NanoClaw Pi, OpenClaw, right? And then it's saying here a few calls to make before I add anything, So let me say to it here, can you ask me these questions one by one? Because sometimes Claude will ask you kind of like a numbered list of questions, and I'm like, that's a bit of a bind. I either need to copy and paste that. And so if you ask to be asked the questions one by one, it will come through with this really useful little, iterative Q&A.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I find that super useful as well. I usually suggest it to it most of the tasks that I would like you to ask questions if you need clarity, because I find that extremely useful.
Yeah, you can get a really good feedback loop. You can really get a good feedback loop. Right, so I'm going to say 4 separate projects. So how should I represent the 4 Claw repos in Notion? Maybe I'll do it 2 by 2, NanoClaw and OpenClaw. So let's do that. So it's going to ask us the next set of questions. I want to get through this because I want to show everyone how Claude kind of like brings together, Obsidian, Notion, and itself. Should Claude Code Dev Container be added? Yes, absolutely. That one's actually a really interesting project. It was the first one that I developed because I didn't want to run OpenClaw on a open environment. I wanted it in a real strict dev container. So maybe I should, open that one at some point. What status should the new project goals start at? I'll say all paused. Yes. Sorted. Here's the plan, mate. Right. So add 3 new projects to yada yada goals and stories. Create 1 starter goal for a project. We'll mark pause. Goals will mention the underlying repos. Okay, that's fine. Want me to crack on and make those changes now? So yes, make the changes. Also, and okay, and update Obsidian during at the end. Right, so I'm hoping if we then go back to here, I'm wondering whether we will see. So there's quite a few goals here. I'm a very ambitious person. I've got quite a few goals. Right, so we'll see the dates anyway. Maybe they're the end. Maybe they'll come in here. Maybe they'll come in here together. Let's
Should we move on to the next part of the conversation and come back to it to see if we can
yes.
look at some other things, and then we can come back to this at the end because I want to see the outcome.
Okay, we'll come back at the end. We can see the butcher's thinking and say,
Which is
let's
picking
leave
up
butcher here and then come
tokens
back
right
at the
there.
end.
We're gonna ignore token economy in the background completely.
Yeah. So what shall we do, Gergely? Should we come over to you? Do you fancy a screen share? Do you want to give your updates?
Can do a screen share. Yeah, I can always do a screen share. I'm actually gonna take it very safe, and I'm going to put the screen that I want to share on my second screen.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
No problem. One day you'll have the courage. One day.
No, that's never gonna happen. So it really, I just want to share like what I would say. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm going to move
You should.
myself a little bit so people can see more.
Yeah, so this is obviously what I've been working on in my free time and learning. It's an interesting project. So I stumbled upon this group of people who are all for completely free working on a video game that's going through a very compelling story, and they allowed me to join their midst as somebody who's going to learn a little bit about game development from the backend side, but also I saw some opportunities to help them out as an exchange for the opportunity to learn. And one of them was the website. And it was really interesting because I built this website. The first iteration was like, as per usual, took 5 minutes. But overall, getting to the bottom of every single issue and placing everything to the proper places took a long time, including one of the things that I discovered that obviously this was a vibe coding exercise in the sense of everything was written by the AI, but in a very structured format. I learned a lot around, and I can't share that right now because it has some information that would expose some tokens and keys. So I can't share, the domains and Cloudflare. But they purchased their domain on Wix, which is an extension of GoDaddy. So their domain was owned by GoDaddy, but I built an application that, because of the architecture and the dev stack of the application, the best way to share it, to deploy it, was through Cloudflare. So I learned a lot around proxying the website, how to set up the proper what does propagation means, what do I need to document in order to be able to reverse the changes I made. And I built this website that I would like to show off that has like little animations going on, and I'm quite happy with it. But what I want to say is I find this absolutely crazy that you have all these things going on and you can build them so quickly, like, and the way they show up as well.
Where did you
I
get
think
those
this.
animations from? They're
So this
amazing.
is from the game. So this
Right.
is from the game. These are animations from the game. Um, it's a dystopian horror puzzle game, like side scroller. So you move around. You have a little buddy here flying. It's very interesting narrative wise. It's a very compelling. I can tell about it more, and obviously anybody. This is the development company, but you can wish list it if you want to read more about it. But what was really interesting, able to go through iterations of, okay, we need an about page, so we're gonna go through it, and it used some of the material to write something. We created a theme page. Uh, what I think is really interesting that it created a news page for the updates, where I prompted it to create an article that has the very first dev diaries, basically development diaries, that you can read through, and you can read through this. Is very interesting, and there is a little Easter egg at the bottom that I challenge the viewers to come up what it means. Then I prompted all these sections, but it's really good how it set it up. For example, this is the press kit, and I told it I need a press kit so the press doesn't have to directly reach us in order to create any articles. Like IGN don't have to reach out to us if they want to write an article. They can get all the information they need, including pictures. And it took some iterations, but even the first few was fine. But that you're able to just go through all the pictures that you want to use in your article, and you can download them,
Right.
which is really good. And the other thing that I learned that I was able to set this contact page up in a way that it's able to send an email direct to the person, which I didn't think I'm going to be able to do.
Right.
And it's just a very simple Google application service where you set up a script in there and it directs it. I know this is much simpler than what you showed us. It's not in the same level, but I found this extremely exciting that somebody with 3 years of experience purely in backend can whip up a front end page that's I think it holds up its quality.
Yeah, I think that this is amazing. The design and the fidelity of the design, and the fonts, so I'm going to ask you, right? Because
Yeah,
as you were just saying about, your back end experience, how much opinion did you put into the prompting of the design when it came to this? And how much design reference did you have to give, Claude, in order to be able to get something of this, class done?
a lot, but that was intentional. I
Right.
haven't tested what you can build without context, right? I have a little sticker on my screen that says context is king.
Hmm.
And I follow the principle every time I work on this. What I discovered, right? It's insane. The design, because the in the background, this is a painting from our art director, who's one of the co-founders.
Yeah. Wait there. Wait there. If
Um,
you go back,
this is
right?
this is a real life painting. He was able to pick up. It's so this picture and some other. I was able to pick up a design appropriate that would look good with this painting, and I find that a little bit scary and amazing at the same time.
Oh, right. So you didn't give Claude the design of the site. You gave it references of, artwork. And it,
Artwork, yeah, the different assets we are utilizing in the game, which is mind blowing. So, for example, I said it to utilize something that's the most appropriate for our very first news. This is the main character. This is the only time the main character looks at the player.
yeah.
Um, and it picked it up as a call to action. He said, Claude said, as a call to action, as the very first news to onboard and get engaged with this new world that you are creating. I think this picture should be the most appropriate. And I was like,
Right.
okay, I have no argument against that. Like it's really good at identifying and reviewing pieces of information. Um, and, and, and
So I noticed on your homepage, if you go back there,
yes,
your cursor actually kind of has a bit of a shadow running behind it.
it does. That's intentional. That was by my design. So the game, the overall. So in this world, and I'm not gonna give away any spoilers with this, but in this world, light and darkness has a very important role in what you're doing in this video game. So when you have this little light, if you hover over here, then you get a fragment of the, in the sense, memory of what you can expect. So with light, you can discover and explore and survive
Wow.
in this dystopian world. So the light is intentional because it reveals things on the website. You
Yeah,
see?
yeah. And is this a
That's
Steam game? Because I know that you were
Yes, it's on
using Steam
Steam.
before.
It's on
Nice.
Steam. I pop it into the chat on the
Yeah,
stream.
yeah. We'll share this link, to people. Maybe if you came in through, well, obviously, coming in through YouTube, you'll be able to grab it from there. But we'll also put it on LinkedIn where we
Yeah,
advertised, earlier today. Okay, I mean the fidelity of this is just absolutely
it's
phenomenal.
it's insane what it put together. And obviously the text, all the text is human written. This is all being reviewed. Every piece of art is human. Like even the font is ours, the one we use in the game itself. But the design, everything. But the fact that it links to everything very simply, every link works.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal piece of work that it can deliver, and I took me a week and a half, 2 weeks to put it together in total.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, it's great. it's such a craft, and I can tell that you're a gamer as well.
Yeah,
That's what kind of, draws your energy in when you kind of believe in something, when it
yeah,
comes to a project, it kind of ties you in and you put your best work into it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's fantastic.
And with that, I think we already like I kind of feel like we wrapped that up, but maybe we could look at the coding challenge and I could do a very quick 2 minutes breakdown of my other project I've been working on for specifically for this podcast,
Yeah. I mean,
HTML heaven.
let's do it. Yeah, I mean, people are going to think that you're a front end designer, by,
Yeah,
the craft and the CSS that's going into all of your front end work.
oh my god, don't even talk like I spoke with so my wedding is next year and I find a really good decorator for the wedding. And this is completely appropriate for the podcast because I think it's a very funny story. And I find an opportunity because I saw their website, and their website, with all due respect, is really bad. It's really bad. And I basically called them that, listen, if you guys decorate my wedding, I make you a website that can whistle, can accept payments, hold galleries, people. I can make it a social media site. You can whatever you want. I can put it together for you because I know I can. After all this practice with AI,
So is this a new currency? You can trade your
it's
AI skills, for
indeed
actual tangible materials now.
barter. I bartered, and they said yes. That sounds good. Let's do it. So I'm gonna have to pay for not gonna have to pay for the decorator. I'm just gonna build them a website in 2 weeks. Actually, I spent the whole year working on it if they want me to. It's not a problem. So it's really funny. Anyway,
Good stuff. Yeah,
this
I mean,
is
that's innovative.
HTML heaven, and I want people in the chat to understand. I'm gonna put this into YouTube channel as well. This is this is something I see not a lot of people doing, but I use AI. One of the most things I do with AI is create different HTML files for different purposes. I do not subscribe to weightlifting applications or weight loss applications or fitness applications or I don't use all trails anymore because I can discover everything is on the internet. Everything is accessible. What I can do with HTML files, I can prompt my AI to create a comprehensive HTML file that serves a very specific purpose. For instance, let me show you. If you're a new programmer, you could do this yourself, but you can create a comprehensive coding cheat sheet where you can literally look at these things and copy them out and utilize them on how to use loops or decorators. You can utilize this to know what the different commands do in Git, even prompts, how to utilize prompts. We're working with your AI. Or I created another one since this game where we're working on this built in Unreal Engine 5. I created a comprehensive, there's a big difference, by the way, between Opus, the first Opus that built this, and 4.7. There's a sharp change because this is a 1-year-old cheat sheet. I would say this is 1 year old. This is from a week and a half ago. So, but like all these things, like how to do what are different lightning theories and methodologies are. What's how to do animation, what you need to focus on, what are blueprints in Unreal Engine 5. So this is super exciting. Or you can do something that we've done. I don't know if I did put anything there, but like we have random code generator that this is one of the things I think we built together, James.
I think it was.
Yeah. So and it's very it takes a minute to put through, and it actually can serve really good purposes. For instance, my partner uses this Hungarian flashcard application to continue learning in Hungarian. That has a little.
So
All right, that's not a.
are these
Yeah.
apps that you've built? So this is a library of Gergely HTML5, things that I need type apps that I'm not going to
Yes,
subscribe to online because I can just do it in Claude.
exactly. And that's what I'm trying to suggest. This is community driven, so this is an open source public GitHub repository, uh, which is I think is right here, so everybody can access this if they want to. But what I would suggest, for example, I have some other ones. For example, this is not me. I didn't create this. So this is Age of Empires 2 Strategist. This is a comprehensive Age of Empires 2 build order on the different maps, who you want to be with, Spanish goes. It's very interesting that this person who contributed this was able to link in the different wikis. So there are things here, obviously, for gamers, that you can review them.
So this came in through pull request into your project.
Yes. So when you can either browse collection, or you can hit submit if you have something. If you don't know how to submit something, you can just review it from here. There are some Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, how to use prompt. There is a little suggestion and a guideline, but basically you can either drag and drop or just select your application that you want to add. Obviously, this is gonna duplicate it, but let me just duplicate it and I remove it later. Actually, we can review it. So how about we crack on with the last part of the stream and do the vibe coding challenge?
Yeah,
What do you think?
okay. There are a couple of things that we need to do first. So we need to go
Yes,
back to Obsidian.
we do need to go back to Obsidian. Absolutely right.
And then do we do the Claude Design as well, or do we
Do we
push
do?
that onto next week?
I think we can do. I'm happy to do it.
I reckon. Right. So what we'll do, we'll put HTML Heaven there, so we know what it is.
Yeah,
Let's go see what Butcher has done with co-work. So let
let's do it.
me, and then we'll round that off. So if people have got, any questions about that, drop them in the comments and we can answer those for next week. So let me come back to normal here. Okay, so let me just square this off just really quickly. So we've got Obsidian, which is our long-term memory. We've got Notion, which is our project Kanban, and all of our epics, stories, and tasks. I had some projects that I had locally that I needed to get into my project board because I was forgetting. That I had a few kind of admin tasks that I needed to clear up. So after that, Butcher's created 3 goals and Obsidian has been updated. So there are 3 project options within the goals and stories database. There's NanoClaw, OpenClaw, and the dev container. Created the 3 starter goals, which are paused. And the Obsidian updates are there. And so I'm hoping that if I come back into Notion, which is here, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a refresh. I've got a paused Kanban column here. So mature Claude Code dev container template, decide feature of NanoClaw family, and decide feature of OpenClaw family. And so they're the 3 goals that basically have been pushed to Notion. And if you look within Notion, let's see if I can see inside. You will notice that everything in Notion and Obsidian is basically Markdown. And so Butcher is basically written in here, where we are today, what the status is, early experiment, docs only, no Git repo, first Claude project, outstanding items, initialized Git, write a README, validate template by spinning up Claude code session against it. And that is kind of like the pattern that happens, all the way through Notion. So Notion and Obsidian, the common language is Markdown, which is absolutely phenomenal. So even down on the task level, you'll notice if you go into any of these, Let's see if I can open one of these. Maybe there isn't kind of like a story view behind the task, but certainly inside the stories, there will be. So here you can see that I wrote a technical writer agent definition. So technical writer is a reference as tier 1 agentic config. And this was when I was converting agents to droids. And so everything's written as markdown because, you know, the intention of it is to remind Claude, you know, of the work. It's instructions to Claude rather than instructions to me. And that's it, really. I mean, maybe week on week, we can kind of, I'll try and stay within this whole Obsidian and Notion environment for a while, and we can, you know, play through a scenario just so people can learn what it's like to work in this. But yeah, I mean, Gergely, I mean, if you've got any questions, you know, feel free to ask, or we can move on to the next bit, which is Claude Design.
I'm actually excited for Claude Design, but I do want to ask you the question if you'd be okay. I want to see this more, and I want to set this up for myself. So I might reach out to you, but it might be a good thing to me holding that off and maybe do a 20-minute exercise when we set it up, what you have here live on the next show, so everybody else can see how you did this.
Yeah, I mean, we might have to do it iteratively because
Yep.
it's not necessarily fully straightforward. Or I can, you know, write the instructions and I can get them onto GitHub. You know, I might even be able to ask, you know, Claude to be able to do that for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, absolutely. I mean, that's
I
the whole
already
reason why
kicked
we're
it off.
here.
I already kicked it off at the beginning of the stream because you inspired me. So I already have the coding integration and skills set up with Obsidian. Okay.
Perfect. Well, there we go. I mean, that's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
Nice one, Gergely. Yeah, anybody, you know, or if people have got experience, you know, that supersedes, you know, what I'm doing, because we're learning as we're doing, please put them in the comments, you know, links to repos, you know, the whole shebang. Okay, in that case, what we're going to do now is get onto Claude Design, you know. So I don't know if people have actually seen, Gergely, I don't know if you've seen Claude Design. Have you come across it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so this will, you know, get you working even more in your front end, you know, kind of, you know, Gergely persona, kind of, you know, the second Gergely who we're getting to know and understand.
I
So
really don't
Claude,
enjoy working on. I really don't enjoy working on front end. By the way, I just want to put that out there. It's not my career path, but I just stuck with it. But go on.
fair enough. And to be quite honest, I'm not a designer by, you know, trade either. But Claude Design is actually a design ecosystem. You know, I don't know if people have come across design systems like Figma. You know, I remember, you know, Illustrator and Photoshop and kind of, you know, iteratively how they move forward from there. Claude Design is your agentic answer to Figma, where you're passing, you know, design assets around and, you know, working almost like as a team, where you'll have, you know, lots of different, you know, people in design roles. And then you can, you know, work collectively with people in, you know, engineering roles as well. It's, you know, high fidelity, but it may need, you know, a little bit of practice in order to be able to, you know, get something of design substance out, you know, because coming from an engineering background, I wouldn't necessarily be able to describe things in a way that would make sense, you know, to Claude when it comes to describing what I want. And so what I thought that we would do, there are lots of different mechanisms within Claude Design, starting from the left. And so within Claude, you kind of generally start with a prompt. So if you're in Cowork or if you're in Claude Code, you know, the very first thing that you see is a prompt. When you come to Claude Design, the very first thing that you need to do is set up a project. And so it might take you a little bit by surprise here. So you can set up prototypes. You can create slide decks. Which will be really useful if you've been using kind of like an external AI system for slide decks. I believe Canva may be one that people use. You can also start with a template, or you can go into prompting. So what I'm going to call this, the engineering signal, because I thought that it would be quite good to revisit our design of the engineering signal, and basically update it, because we've come forward a lot since the original thinking behind it. Now, what I've actually learned, and Gergo, this is where you can correct me, is that sometimes it's not entirely efficient to write your own descriptions of what it is that you want. Okay,
Indeed.
so my first impulse is to go in there and tell Claude Design what it is that I want, but it's not necessarily the best way of doing it.
Can I tell you the best way I think the way to do it, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I almost disrespectfully treat Claude as my assistant, and I turn on what I do, I turn it on my phone. I press the microphone button, and I just start talking nonstop, and I just lay it off, and I just keep going until I feel like every single piece of information from my brain is out. And I just tell it, I need you to review this, ask questions, and write up a prompt for Claude Code. And
That's really
usually
cool.
saves me so much time.
That is actually a really good idea. Maybe we can do that next week, or in a couple of weeks' time. We can actually start getting our mics wired up to our browsers and start using
Yeah.
it here. I don't know what that will be like through OBS. It might have some weird feedback kind of weirdness, but let's give it a shot. But I'm going to hand crank this one, if that's
Yeah.
okay. But we'll test that scenario and then we'll bring it to life. Okay, so hey Butcher, I want to redesign the engineering. Okay, signal design assets using Claude Design. Can you tell me everything that you know about the engineering signal that would be really useful to tell Claude Design through a design brief prompt. Please refer to Obsidian or the engineering signal references. Remember that me and right. Sorry, KK.
Oh no. I'm chill.
I think I was the host. Have I spelled your name wrong? I think I have, haven't I?
It's let me see. That's perfect. Yeah.
Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if Claude can actually remember what the engineering signal is, and go into Obsidian in order to find out its own context. So rather than me telling Claude everything about the engineering signal, and, you know, bringing in external references, you know, within Claude itself, you know, I create the LinkedIn posts that go out there. And also there's some of the, you know, projects that we've done in the Vibe Coding Challenge. And so it might be the case that, you know, so look, so it knows about you, it knows about, you know, your protocol talk, that you're a co-host with me. So I'm actually
It's
hoping
amazing.
that, yeah, and all of that has, you know, through Obsidian and everything that, you know, it's gathered through there. And so the host, James McLeod, Gergely Krista, London-based product owner, organizer of London JS, deeply involved with AI governing board, runs open source projects. Well, I don't exactly run those projects, but you know,
I'm
so
not
let's see.
regular, not regular London JS speaker, but
Yeah, right. Let's see what we can create now. So it's got as much context as, you know, it's managed to learn out of Obsidian. Can you create a design brief for Claude Design to recreate all of the design sets for YouTube for the engineering signal YouTube stream and OBS. This should include thumbnails, the main engineering signal design plus the OBS final third. Right. Can you give Claude Design the persona of a creative designer within the streaming industry? That creates designs, or what kind of game was the one that you did, that you showed earlier?
it's a horror 2.5D
Shall we say
horror
sci-fi?
puzzle game. Yeah,
Horror.
horror
We'll say
puzzle game.
sci-fi. Sci-fi.
Yeah. Sci-fi's fun.
Sci-fi console games, with a tinge of Blade Runner
Yeah,
and Alien.
good choice. I like that.
And Alien. Right. So let's see. We don't have time to go into it in too much detail. We're trying to get a bit of a prompt going here. So can you create design brief for Claude Design to recreate all of the design assets for the engineering signal, YouTube stream, and OBS? This should include thumbnail, the main engineering signal design, plus the OBS final third. Can you give Claude Design the persona of a creative designer within the streaming industry that creates designs for sci-fi console games with a tinge of Blade Runner and Alien? Okay, so let's grab this, right? Still going, still going, still going. So this is the absolute advantage of getting Claude to write your prompts, because there's zero chance that I would have gone into this level of depth. And then maybe what we can do, I'll kick this off, and then we can do the vibe code challenge, and then we can come back to see what's been created, and then we can say whether we like the design or hate it. We can either keep it or bin it.
Indeed.
Right, so it looks like it's nearly there. Copy you. Paste that. What I'm also going to do is attach. If I go to my desktop.
Oh, I sent you a new picture, but I'm happy with the one you have right now.
Oh, okay, I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to use
That's fine.
these. And so what we have on here are some crazy thumbnails. They're both myself and Gergely sent earlier today.
Yeah.
And so hopefully Claude will be smart enough to know, oh, I've got a blue spinning wheel. Please don't die. Ah, there we go. It didn't die. That's good. Create the design as per the pasted text and attached selfies of James McLeod. Okay, James and right. There we go. So let's just get confirmation that it's not going to give me a lot of grief. And then let's talk about the Vibe Code Challenge. Okay, so it's going through it. There we go. It's kicked
Making
off.
a little plan. Yeah.
So let's keep that going in the background. And then if I stop sharing and come back to you, we're back with
Indeed.
you, Gergely.
Indeed. So how about we do it this way? I know what I want you to build, and instead of sharing your screen, I'm gonna give it to you. And I kind of want to change the vibe coding a little bit. Instead of timing how fast you can type, you have all the time in the world to do the first iteration of sending the prompt and getting the result, and then you have 2 minutes to make it better.
2 minutes to make it better. Okay.
2 minutes to make it better. So it's nothing to do with you typing. So I'm just going to tell you, I basically want you to create an application, and it's going to be quite simple. But the HTML5 application has to be a comprehensive guide to integrate your Obsidian and your AI tool on your desktop.
Yeah.
Let me know if you got it.
I do.
And it must have a golden bullet prompt that you can give to your CLI tool to do it, to your AI CLI tool.
Golden bullet prompt to give to AI CLI. And what does that do? It just kind of like installs it.
Yeah, so that prompt will give all the information to your CLI tool to know the purpose of why we're setting up Obsidian and how it should integrate with your CLI tool and what should it do, where should you install it, what the skills it needs to pull. But that's all the information you have right now. You're going to have 2 minutes to make it better after you reviewed it.
And that's an HTML5
application that you need to upload. When it's done, when the 2 minutes is over, you're going to upload it to the HTML heaven. I accept the pull request, and then we review it on the site. And in the meanwhile, I was thinking maybe I could
Now.
maybe I could work on your prompt at the same time, and we both review both at the same time from HTML Heaven.
Okay, why don't so in that case, why don't you do the same but for the gaming app website that you did earlier on? So
Okay.
write an HTML5 app, that instructs a backend engineer on how to create a high fidelity front end HTML5 application. And all of the types of design assets that are needed, so it doesn't turn out like a regular HTML5 plain text form. So it'd be kind of like it's like a tutorial, right? How to get the best out of Claude Code HTML5 application. And then it can be kind of like a series of steps. I could do with that.
Yeah, so I am gonna start off now. Just
Right.
writing. We're just gonna do the first iteration, and then when let's say we both have 5 to 7 minutes to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do the first iteration, and then we can review it, and then we have 2 more minutes each.
No worries. So okay, so the question is, right, people aren't going to want to see our big faces on
I agree.
the stream.
I was thinking about it.
Somebody's going to have to share their screen. Who's that person going to be? So who's going to be the person who's going to be walking through their prompts?
I can do it, but I'm very comfortable with you doing it as well. I'm very happy with either.
So do you want to give it a shot? So if you do
Sure.
the live kind of run through of how you're creating your prompts and setting yourself up.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to do
Okay.
that. Right. So what I started with is I have my HTML5 applications in here. So I set right click, show more options, and I run up git bash in here. And within git bash, I started up Claude. So what I'm doing now is writing the first prompt, which is not going to be, just because of time constraints, I'm going to write it myself. But I kind of want it to be a little bit bad as well at the same time. So I'm going to say in this folder, write a comprehensive HTML5 application that able to assist a backend engineer who hasn't seen the sun or colors in decades. How to
Haven't
build
seen the sun in decades.
yeah, how to build a high fidelity and professional front end application for a video game promotion / contact. I think that's what. This is a complex front end app deployed on Cloudflare. So that's going to be my first iteration, three lines.
Okay.
That's happening on my end. How are you getting on?
I'm getting on okay. So my prompt so far is, can you write an HTML5 application that is a comprehensive guide on how to integrate Obsidian into your Claude Code and Claude Cowork environment that also integrates with Notion. Can you learn the environment from? So if I right, so I'm sharing my screen now. So
What? Should I stop the thing?
no, I think yours went blank when I started typing all of my Claude stuff. I think yours OBS, it went a little bit skewy. And
Sure.
so I've transitioned kind of like onto mine now because I don't have I'm
Good.
working on the same screen as what you were showing on.
Oh, by the way, I want to say one more thing because I'm having a lot of fun with this right now. Don't open your application because I'll be honest with you, I want to time how much time we have to review it. So I'm going to give us 10 seconds to review it and then 2 minutes to improve it. Okay, but go on.
Right. So I'm going to bring my superpower into this. Also use the relevant agents that we have.
No, that's cheating. That's cheating.
To create the best outcome possible. Right, okay. Have you hit return on yours?
I did. I have 2 minutes now, actually.
That's so if I return to you, do you have something to demonstrate?
No. Because I want us to open them separately. We both going to have to like I reckon if we have 10 seconds to review it quickly, right? You get 10 seconds to review your own website, then you have 2 minutes to improve it. I think that's more fun. But my problem is, right? And I think you might have made a mistake there. Because that's a double-edged sword to bring in your personas. I'm running 4.7, right? And it's taking already 3 minutes to go through this what it drew up. Your agents, until they make a decision, they might take a longer time. So I think that's a double-edged sword. But we'll see.
Right, we will see. And I reckon that you're probably right. I mean, the scale of this Obsidian kind of research, I mean, it's actually quite big. But anyway, I mean, what you can see here now on mine. So Gergely, you might not be able to see this. So I'm going to share my screen with you. You will be able to see now that this is actually drawing everything out of the Obsidian vault that Cowork is also integrated into. So everything that I've done on Cowork and also in Claude Code is now getting drawn upon in order to feed the requirements of this 2-minute vibe code challenge, which from what you're saying is actually turned into a 30-minute vibe code challenge. So anyway, let's
It looks like you put together a quite comprehensive piece of work there. It might take a while.
Yeah. I
mine,
think it's going to take
mine is.
Shall we go back to you? Are you right, Gergely?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm just worried because it's haven't done anything yet, and I'm just watching it. It says swirling, so I'm gonna do.
Oh, what yours is? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
So there is this function. Let me share my screen. I don't know if you know this one. But you can bump into it and be like, do a hashtag by the way.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just gonna ask what's going on. going what's taking so long? And then
I would
gonna
say
start.
doing random quotes seems to be a little bit easier. Oh, it's the comprehensive. Maybe it's
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna
word
I'm gonna I'm gonna
comprehensive.
say trim the scope.
Will it actually trim the scope? It'd be interesting to see if, by the way, does actually trim the scope.
So you can do by the way, right? And that's basically, if you look at it, ask a question, side question without interrupting the main conversation. So it's I don't know if you know this one, but it's quite useful.
You made a typo with scope. It says trim the cop. So, I mean, I don't know what that would be.
My S is not working sometimes.
Oh, yeah. There
But
we go.
also I didn't add the E, so
Yeah.
how's yours getting on? Because mine is still.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna read this. I'm just gonna say.
It's still thinking. It's still thinking. It's still gathering information from Obsidian. Ah, it's got the
Oh
full
boy.
context now. Right, so it's got the full context. Ah, now it's launching the business analyst and UI designer in parallel. So I've got two agents working on it. That's just hilarious. Right, so the
That is.
superpowers are engaging.
You might be able to actually deliver this faster than me. That's why I discovered with 4.7, things might be more autonomous,
Yeah.
but they're slower because it takes way more time to make decisions and
Oh,
and
really? You've used it
and
enough to determine
it
that it's slower.
yeah, and hallucinated so much the other day. I wanted to put together a case study, and it just told me the whole time what I want to hear. And at the end, I said, "Okay, could you please tell me how much of this was hallucination? How much was it that you're just telling me because I want to hear?" And
Yeah.
he gave me a full breakdown. And he said, "Oh, actually, 75% of the things I stated was hallucination." I was like, "Well, don't do that."
Yeah. Well, at least it was honest.
Bruh.
Yeah, something's kind of like hanging on yours.
Right. You're gonna stop this here. Oh, actually, I didn't want to do that, but you can just hit resume, and then I'm gonna ask for the same, and I'm gonna say you have 2 minutes. I'm gonna say it. I don't want to wait 10 minutes here. Good. What? Good. What you can in 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, remember we've also got the engineering signal design that we've got to review, and so
Indeed. Indeed.
all of these threads that we've got going. Do you know what? I mean, this is demonstrating just how much you can get through with, with some agents kind of like live on a stream.
Yeah. Yeah. Context switching nonstop.
Yeah, non-stop. Right, so I'm going to go back to my terminal. Right, so
Good.
do you want to create content spec MD? So what is this? Okay, so I've said yes. So mine's still churning away. Shall we go and have a look at the design? See if
Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm really curious.
okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you again. So we're already in there. So let's see what we have. Right, the engineering signal. So what has it built? I'll design the engineering signal, yada, yada, yada. Let me take a look at the photos so I can identify who's who and how to use them. I've got what I need. James beard, glasses, hoodie. Have I got a hoodie? Gergely, long grey beard. Oh, so maybe it's got a switched.
Maybe it switched it up a little bit.
That's okay. I'll build the design, single long form HTML design doc, 2 candidate accents, Nostromo Amber, that's the Alien reference. So it's got all of the type system, JetBrains Mono, body is inter, textures. It's got quite a lot there. Shall we have a look through? So you can I don't know what it's built here. Right, so art direction.
Is this a website or a
I'm not sure. But look, that's pretty cool. Look, you can
That's really cool, yeah.
you can 3 directions, right? So 3 distinct treatments of the same first episode, building agents in the open with James and Gergely. How do I get rid of that? There. So 2
Well, my
host
face
split,
just showed
dual
up.
tone portraits, you know. That's actually quite a nice looking site. Do you know what? I reckon if you're a designer, so I think that this is kind of like the treatment. So it's almost like a design palette that it's created. It's not a website. It's almost like all of the individual design assets. Yeah, because this is the channel banner. So you can see that's what it's kind of like, you know, created for
Come
the
up with,
engineering signal.
yeah.
There's another channel banner with all of the various different dimensions on it.
I like the CLI design, by the way. That's really cool.
Which bit?
The CLI design, you see these yellow dotted lines.
Ah, yeah. That is nice, isn't it? Yeah, I agree. Reckon you've got 2 different types of treatment on there, which is nice. OBS scene pack, standby, back shortly, host frame until next signal. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. I really like how it does it, the different communications.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I don't like how it highlights my forehead.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that nice?
How do I have more wrinkles than you? I'm sorry. I'm not saying.
How can you even say that? What are you?
Why do I look older than you? That's not fair, James. That's
I don't know. I mean, you know.
Next time you're gonna share your skincare routine. That's what you're gonna start with.
That's actually really good. It's very masculine, you know, but we didn't say anything about balancing that. But yeah, I mean, I think you know, I wouldn't necessarily adopt this. It's a very first, you know, it's a first good look. Maybe both you and I outside of the actual stream itself. I quite like this one. That one's quite nice. I think yeah, maybe we can do something, you know, outside of, you know, the actual stream itself and come up with a new design together, and then we can bring it back here and, you know, show people and get a bit of a vote.
I think so. And we could even, I know, don't even say I'm a front-end engineer, but we could build a website for the channel. It is.
Using your new comprehensive HTML5.
Using my comprehensive HTML5 since I haven't seen the sun.
Right, where am I at with mine? Right, we're back here. Ah, right, okay. So it's building it as an HTML5 application using the front-end developer agent. So that's cool. So how many agents have I used? I've used a business analyst, I've used a UI designer, and now I'm using the front-end developer. And for people who are interested in that, if I show you just very quickly. So if I go to here, I have got let's see, CD agents. If I clear that, on my local, I've got all of these agents written as Markdown. So you can see that I've created a UI designer. I've got a business analyst agent. And there should be kind of like a front end engineer, front end developer. And so these are all agents that I've specifically created to be in my feature team. And so by saying use the appropriate agents, it's actually pulling it out of the global Claude folder and applying it. And you can see that they're being put to use in this project. And so I'm hoping, I wonder if I can open a new tab, just one. Okay, I don't want to hit anything that destroys it. So I do have an HTML5 application in there, and I've also got a docs folder. So I wonder what it's actually building. I'm going to have to wait until it's finished. What do you reckon, Gergely? What do you think's going to come out of this thing?
I have no idea. I'll have to. So I hit rate limit on mine from this single exercise because it was overcomplicating it. But I was on the wrong subscription anyway. But I switched to the Claude desktop app, and I'm just building it in the in the Claude desktop application chat because I realized I can just copy it into Node++, and it's actually doing it there. I don't think it was building it there properly. It wrote 3,000 lines, which is way more than any other HTML app I built before.
Right. Wow. That's
but it's gonna be interesting.
Crazy. I wonder what it
Did
was
you use the
doing.
word comprehensive as well?
Yeah. Fully comprehensive.
This is longer than it was before, right?
So yeah, can you write an HTML5 application that is a comprehensive guide on how to integrate Obsidian into your Claude Code and co-work environment? Yes, sometimes it's difficult to know, where it's actually going to go. I've had that before, where it kind of takes you down random paths. It's doing a code review now, which is quite nice.
You used 50,000 tokens for this single exercise.
Yeah, but if it gets people kind of integrating Obsidian and Notion and building agentic solutions, that's some tokens well spent.
Yeah.
Time will tell. I mean, this has been a 15-minute, 2-minute vibe coding challenge.
Yeah, I feel like just because of the time crunch, we're gonna have to go with whatever it gives us. So what we're gonna do, right? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, we'll just go with whatever. I mean, we can't be on here all night.
So when it's done, don't open it. Just submit it through the website. And
I'm not sure because I don't know what it's going to put in there. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing kind of like a content review. There could be content in there that describes my internal system.
Oh yeah.
And
You're
so,
right. You're right.
I need
Maybe
to be a little bit careful.
Oh yeah, it didn't. Oh, right. You're done. You can open it. Okay, let's open yours then. Oh, mine is done as well, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Shall we
download
open
it.
this one? Shall we see what?
Yeah, you go ahead. You open that one, and I open this one after.
This is actually pretty cool. Do you want to take a look through this? Are you up for that?
Oh, that looks really good. Let's look through yours first, and then.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh wow, that looks really good. That looks like a website. And I know what a website looks like.
Yeah.
I'm the expert now.
Look, isn't that cool? Look, it's even got a little diagram in there. Architectural decisions. Let me go a little bit quicker. Wow, the design on that is actually really good. MCP configuration. So far, I'm not
Yeah.
seeing anything that describes my internal system, which is pretty good. Fault structures, that's good. Trust boundaries, lean Kanban with Notion. It would have been these kind of diagrams that would have taken a bit of time, but actually they're really good at, just the diagrams that Claude creates are actually really good. Is that so? That is actually HTML5. That's HTML5. Wow. So that's a vector. That's really good. Work in progress limit and weekly reviews. Let's keep on going. Oh, do you know what I forgot? I forgot the golden prompt, the golden bullet. So maybe we need to, I'll add that to that.
Yeah.
Look, and it's even put the NatWest OSPO with the
License.
Creative Commons license. There
Nice.
we go. What do you reckon?
Does it edit your GitHub? Do you want to click on your GitHub if it opens it?
There we go.
Wow.
It certainly does.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
That's amazing. I'm sorry, but that's great, isn't it? I know it took a lot of time, but that's actually brings low value for people. I understand this is the same as a GitHub repository, by the way, but it's basically the documentation, the MD file that will be on your GitHub repository. But you can give this context to your AI tool. It says dark and light mode.
Everything you need.
I had a peek on mine, by the way.
Right. Okay, let's give it a shot.
I'm sorry, but it's hilarious.
Right, we're back to you now, Gergely.
Ship a game promo.
Mate, seriously? That's amazing.
That doesn't look like a crude form.
How comes you get all of these, amazingly rendered websites and I get like a straight form? It's not like I didn't say anything different. I mean, that's just phenomenal. It's even got like a little banner.
You've written 70 microservices. You can explain eventual consistency at the dinner party, but the marketing team just asked you to build and launch a site, and your last CSS encounter was float left in 2014. This is your menu. The mental model shift. Frontend is not weaker, backend is. This is obviously, I'm not going to go through the whole content right now. Rule 1 hero. Rule 2, dark first. Rule 3, sheep edges. Rule 4, respect eyes. Stack and tooling. Oh my god. Typography or audio pages feels like TPS report.
How did it come up with it? How comes you got this?
Oh my god, it gave you the CSS color schemes that you should be using with each of them. Slop, purple, pink, king corian and white, cinema, near black, one fierce red. Slop. Wishlist on Steam. Okay, this takes me back up. Yeah, so.
No wonder it took you like 30 minutes. I mean, this is amazing.
This is really good. The communication. Oh, and you can test it. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Performance is design constraint. This is. It's literally step by step. The pre-flight checklist. Or you can check it out. I'm actually find this really impressive. Now ship it. The designers and marketing are rooting for you. So are we. Right, I'm gonna push this up.
Oh, do you know what? I'm really jealous. I don't know how your Claude is actually. You must have an MCP to a design system somewhere. I mean, there's.
No,
what? So you're telling me that your version of Claude is just giving you all of these high-res kind of front-end designs for free?
And I think it's context because I've been building these websites.
Right.
I think it's picking up context and understands what I like. And also we set high fidelity, so it went way overboard. So I'm gonna do this and submit this. So I'm gonna say this is a front end and development guide for basement engineers. That's going to be the description for basement engineer. And this is around
Do you know what
productivity.
a basement engineer is? It's like
No.
somebody who builds houses and kind of digs out the basement. I'm joking, mate. I'm seriously joking.
Living.
I know what you mean.
I'm gonna put it in basement living engineers. It's productivity, education, tools, creative. And then I'm gonna hit preview. It's gonna give me the preview of the site and submit review.
That's amazing.
And this is really cool. I'm very happy with this. So it's gonna give me a pull request that I can open, and I'm the only one who can approve it. I might give you, so it's a new app, a front-end development guide. I could review the code in it if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna hit. I'm gonna merge it in, and and the GitHub actions that I set up in the pipeline. Actually, that's a lie. The GitHub actions that Claude Code set up in the pipeline will build it, deploy it, and check it out. So I didn't build these actions. The GitHub CLI that I have set up done it.
Yeah.
So it's built and then deploys whenever. I hope.
I mean, that's Claude is actually really good at setting up your GitHub actions. It basically mirrored a lot of my front end checks in the action and also using Git. And so I've got a whole bunch of pre-commit hooks that basically mirror my GitHub action tests. So I mean, the amount of time, as an engineer to do that for yourself, is, endless compared to, how much time it took Claude to do it on my behalf.
Yeah.
Is it in there?
It's in there. It's in here. Done. So anybody can access it now. Anybody on the chat. I encourage people to submit your own application.
Yeah. You've probably given somebody 10K's worth of training there for free. Good stuff.
So this is, and it's issue number 1, Cloudflare deployed edition. So I could start a whole, how to use on Wix, GoDaddy, doesn't matter, AWS. I could start a whole session on this. This is cool. Do you wanna deploy yours, or are you comfortable with the information in there?
I'll deploy it later. I think I need to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. I mean, I can't, you've got to have the top spot. I mean, that's just like nothing that I've ever seen before,
It's good. I think it's really good. They put it, I want to take credit for it.
Yeah.
I won't. It's not my credit. It picked up the context from previously, but it's good to look at the design, the detail it went in here as well, like how it fades out. Let's see something. I always very curious. What happens if you look?
It'll be interesting to ask Claude, what it's learned about you, and if it could write a description of who you are and what you do as a career, what would it actually say?
Oh, I done it before. I almost cried. I'm not gonna do that on live stream. That was that was horrible. I even told him, be brutally honest. Don't sugarcoat it. And that was a bad choice. Don't say that to your AI, because it will not fuck around. It will genuinely tell you what's up. Like, highlight your mistakes as a human being.
Don't sugarcoat it. If you want to get, the most out of your next, life coaching session, that's the question to ask. You'll have like an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if we've got anything else to show now. I think that we've come to the end of today's stream.
I think so too. I think so too.
I mean, it's been great. I mean, we've kind of flitted around, but I think, we certainly haven't repeated anything twice on this week's.
No, no, this was great. I think brand new content. I really enjoyed the conversations. I kind of want to go back to the what we done before. Please bring some more Gergely to check, AI or not. The next trailer. I really enjoyed those. That was really fun.
Yeah. No, I think so as well. I mean, the fidelity of your vibe coded application, is just amazing. Maybe see if you can get like your content agent to give it a read through to make sure that it's actually true and it's not giving
Yeah,
people false advice. But
the whole thing is hallucination, right?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's been a really good stream. Thank you so much. Everybody who's joined the stream tonight. It's phenomenal to see people joining, and as always, Gergely, it's such a pleasure spending a Sunday evening with you. Sharing what people have learned over the last week, and the industry moves so fast. There's so much to update people on.
Yeah, thank you very much, James. It was lovely to be here again. See you next week.
Yeah, see you all next week. All the best. Have a great Monday, and remember to talk about this over the water fountain in the morning. See you later, Gergely. Have a great